Go. Well. We're back once again. Episode 12 of Turnbuckle Talk. Nearly 3 months of listening to me, myself, jjwrestletalk, and the man across the room from me, Mr. Santastic29. How are we, my man?
Dude, I'm good. It feels weird. We're recording on a Monday. We normally record on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed the last podcast with Sullivan. Can't wait for part 2.
Intriguing.
Yeah, very good. It's very nice to get a different take on wrestling. Obviously, with us as fans, we normally recap the WWE and what's happening in that line of the world with regards to wrestling. So to get a take on somebody that's there at the heart of an indie business and and how he operates and how he got into it, etc., is for me, I'm sure for yourself, and I'm sure for a lot of the listeners, is it's quite a fascinating take.
Oh, yes. It was, there's a lot to take in. And luckily for us, we are getting a part 2.
We are getting a part 2. We are. And also in 2 weeks' time, we've got another special guest, the amazing Franklin, who is, again, from SOS, one of Sullivan's good friends. So, yeah, but I'm great, dude. How the hell are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm not too bad. It does feel, even though it's a Monday and it's not been long since our last pod, it feels like it's been a while.
It does. So we have those kind of weeks, though, don't we? There was we said
Mm.
this a couple of weeks ago. That in between that Wednesday to Wednesday, it kind of dragged. It was a really long week. It felt much longer than a week for sure. And yeah, I totally agree. Although we're not at a full week, it does feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot to catch up on, obviously, in the world
Yeah,
of WWE, as we, didn't touch on that Wednesday because we had a nice special guest.
absolutely. Yeah. So I think, I think we touch on Money in the Bank to start with, because obviously that happened in between the last 2 podcasts. So it was right smack bang in the middle.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to go straight into the star rating because we've been doing this on PLEs recently. For me, out of 5, it's a 2.7.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll push 3. I love to round it up, but yeah, it was there was some very dodgy spots in it,
Yeah,
and
there
it
weren't.
brought it down a little bit.
Well, I mean, the first one that comes to mind is obviously the situation with the cash in, with Seth getting the fall over Damien, and the ref clearly, just as he's coming down for the 3, gets up and goes, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah,
Damien didn't
so
actually kick out. So
I
this
heard
could go down
a
to a
few
multitude of
things.
things. Yeah.
I heard a few things about that. That one, Priest was actually a bit out of the count and forgot his
Hmm.
part, and Drew's music was meant to hit on 2, but it hit
Yeah.
after. So you can't solely put that on
No, no,
the
no.
in-ring wrestlers. That
Yeah, that's what I
it's
mean. Yeah, I'm not pinpointing at the ref. It's just funny that obviously the ref is doing what he can do in that
yeah,
situation. He's going for 3. He's obviously expecting the music to be cued, and that's what I was thinking. Is Priest slightly out of it and has
mm,
forgotten the spot, and then also has the sound engineer missed a heartbeat, and the
yeah,
music's just gone on a bit too late.
yeah, definitely. It was a bit of a weird situation surrounding that
Yeah,
because it was.
I'm good.
You could tell Priest wasn't right at that point because he
No,
didn't move at all.
he
He
didn't.
looked,
I think he was out of it.
he
I
generally
think it
looked,
was a combination of the two. I think he was out of it. I think the sound engineer was waiting for Priest to kick out and then thought, shit, I better hear the music now.
so yeah, it's annoying that obviously it's Priest in his last 2 PLEs has had 2
That's
dodgy
what I said.
spots.
Yeah, if you look at if you look at the last 2, obviously Clash of the Castle, we had that tangle in the ropes against
Yeah,
Drew, and now this. But I get it. If this time round he's semi-coherent because he's taken a bump and he's kind
mm,
of almost unconscious, you can't blame the dude. It's going to happen. It's just
no,
one of those
no,
things. It's live TV. Mistakes happen. You know what it's like. Okay, we don't have anywhere near the audience size by any means, but you know what it's like on streaming on Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok. You're live. If something happens, you have to just roll with it the best you can at that
yeah. Or
moment in time.
it's like Triple H said after, they're all human.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, the refs count is final. That's it. That's what he's going with. So
and he didn't go for the 3. He got up and went, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" So
yeah,
ref decision is final.
but I'm glad that with this now that like Triple H is actually acknowledging these
Yeah.
issues
Well, he
and
acknowledged it
actually
with Gunter as well, didn't he? And
and
Randy at King of the Ring.
he'll speak about it. He
Yeah,
won't shy away from the question of it. He
but I
will
like that.
literally address it straight up.
I I agree with you. I think it's good that he's doing that because again, he's acknowledging that they are humans. Yes, there was a mistake. Some cases it is unavoidable, but we are all humans. We do get caught up in the moment, and when you've got so many things going on at once, the ref is calling the time and the action, making sure they're okay, and then you've got that coming on as well. It's a lot to think about at the same time,
Mm.
and anything can go wrong.
Yeah, definitely. And so yeah, that the ending was it wasn't as big a surprise as what it was made out to be. It was a bit
No,
obvious that it
I
was going
think
to happen that way.
that was the one thing that disappointed me the most with the whole entire PLE was the fact that Triple H promised surprises, and what did we get? In all honesty, we got nothing. There was not
No.
in my mind. There wasn't any surprises. We knew. I think we all secretly knew Punk was going to come out. I mean, put it
Oh
this
yeah.
way: if you watch it back, Samantha Irvin announces that Drew McIntyre is cashing in the Money in the Bank. Has now become a triple threat match. He goes straight away, attacks Seth, goes after Priest, and then Punk's there inside 20 seconds, if that.
Mm.
Basically, as soon as it's announced as triple threat, it's a no disqualification. Punk's there. And I like the angle. I mean, I've seen a lot of hate online, a lot of frustration with people saying it should have gone to Jay, or it should have gone to LA
No, I
Knight
don't
because
think
it's
it
a
was a
waste of a
waste.
cash in.
I don't think it was. It adds to
I don't think so at
this
all.
whole
I've said this.
long term story.
I've said this in a few streams actually. I found somebody that was rewatching Money in the Bank a couple of days later, and I went in their stream and had a conversation with them in their chat, and a lot of people were saying it was the wrong person. I said, no, you got to look at it from a long-term perspective. This is a long-term story that they're building with not just 2, but now 3 of the main people
Mm.
on the roster. And this is storytelling at its finest, and this is going to erupt. And when it happens, you're going to be like, yeah, okay, that was the right call.
Oh yeah, 100%. And also,
Yeah.
you've got to look at it with, say, for instance, Jay wins that briefcase. There's no way he's cashing in on Cody or Priest slash
No,
Gunther any time before WrestleMania. So
exactly.
that would have been a waste of the briefcase because
Yeah.
it would have just been dropped down and they probably would have cashed it in on the Intercontinental title by that.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe so, and that's the thing. I think it was the right decision. Drew to come out and cash in like he said he was going to on the night. I think, and then have Punk come out and attack him and prevent that from happening. I
And
think
then
it was
also
100% the right call.
at that point, obviously, he's then stopped
Screwed
Seth
Seth
from being
over.
able
Yeah,
to challenge Priest for that title. So then that angers Seth even more
yeah,
towards Punk. So it
yeah.
adds more fire
Well, that's
in
why I say not just
this
2, but now
rivalry.
3,
It's opened it right up.
because obviously we saw Priest say to Seth that wasn't your fault. You can have another shot.
Hmm.
Which is great. I love that. That's a sign that Priest is turning face in my mind, and I think that will be good for him. I think that will be very good for Priest to turn face. I think he could do well in that direction. But yeah, I love the fact that they've opened it up to Seth. Like we spoke on before, Seth and Punk hate each other with a passion away from
Yeah.
the ring, but they're both so good at what they do and are both ever the professionals that they will make it work, and they will give you a blinding run between the 2 of them and add Drew into that fold. You have got an amazing storyline building.
Oh, 100%. And also,
Yeah,
I love that after Drew went into obviously the pre-show or pre-after show
yeah,
and literally blew his lid again, and then obviously elbowed Pierce in the face, got a suspension.
yeah,
So literally, it's just building Drew with more and more anger, week in,
yeah,
week out, because he's just constantly getting screwed. The guy does not get anything.
He hasn't got a break in ages, has he? Let's face it. He
Not
hasn't had a break in a long time. Last time he had a break was when he won the championship in COVID with no crowd.
literally a
You know,
pointless
and that
win.
was the big thing for him was I was WWE champion, but where was the crowd? Where was the
I won
support
it. I won it in a
to
warehouse.
yeah, exactly, yeah. I won it in an empty studio. Exactly that. But yeah, poor fucking guy. I mean, he's got to have a lot of faith in WWE, put it that way, to sign his recent deal that he did
Mm.
and whatever they've pitched for him to be constantly screwed over. He has got a hell of a lot of faith in the story. He believes in it. He believes in himself and the people that he's working with. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it.
No, I think that's a big ode to Triple H though,
Yeah, I think so.
because
The man is
I don't,
working wonders.
under Vince McMahon, he wouldn't. This wouldn't be
No,
going the way
I'm not sure.
that it is right now.
Yeah,
It
and
wouldn't
that's
be
the
as
thing. I've seen a
believable
lot of.
either.
Yeah, I totally agree. 100%. And I've seen a lot of comments going, "Oh, this is the biggest L in the biggest L in the Triple H era." No, it's not. Having Drew lose is fantastic because it would be too
That's,
predictable that he came in and win. You know, it
oh,
was either going to
easily.
be Priest or Seth. I didn't expect it to be Priest, if I'm being honest. I thought Seth might have walked away with it because of how it folded, but
Mm.
I'm glad that they had Priest keep it because it adds Seth to that fold with Punk and Drew, and I love that.
Yeah, I don't like you're saying that. I've seen that people saying, "Oh, big L," but this is where I said to you, I've said to you before, people only see what they want to see
Yeah,
or not see on the night. They don't follow the
don't think
long
about it long
term
term. Yeah,
storytelling. Like they totally disregard it and just think it's a fresh
yeah,
show each week that with something new that's going to happen. But
exactly.
it's
And
not.
that's the thing, you know, and that is the problem with people that do view it that way. Is it's not, you know, you've got to look at it as an episode like a soap opera. The
Mm,
storyline will continue. It's not a fresh show where it doesn't run through, you know, where it stops in one episode and then the next episode's a whole totally different turn of events. This is, I mean, look at the NWO. The NWO was years in the making. You know, they went over from WCW, and then when WCW was bought out by Vince, it came over into WWE, and they were active for years. There's a lot of storylines. I mean, look at the Bloodline. What, we're in the 4th year that the Bloodline's been active?
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
three and a
So
half, 4 years. It's a long term in the making, and I think that is the best
even the
way to do
Judgment
it.
Day's been going on long as well. It's like they're not
Yeah,
just a 6 month faction and then all of a sudden they just implode. Like
yeah,
they're built for long term.
well, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right.
They're built to last at this moment, which is like you say, going back to the golden era where you had the big factions that
Yeah.
lasted a long while before they started to finally crack.
But even not just the big factions, even just, you know, even solo runs before. Like you look at Goldberg and Chris Jericho, it was months in the making in
Mm.
WCW. Chris Jericho had this thing where Goldberg wouldn't show up. So Chris Jericho had a counter that said that he defeated Goldberg like once a week, whereas Goldberg was still technically undefeated at this time. And and after months, Goldberg finally came out and they went ahead, and it was fantastic. It was a great story. You know, Chris Jericho made it work really well. But it was months in the build up, and it was that aggro. Fans were getting aggravated because Goldberg was, a firm favorite.
Mm.
Chris Jericho at the time was a heel, so everyone was backing Goldberg. And then when it did come to a head, it was worth the wait.
That's what you want, though. You want that
Yeah,
anticipation. You want that constant edge of your seat
exactly.
stuff,
And
that
that's
build
why I'm
up.
liking Logan Paul and LA Knight at the moment as well, because
Yeah,
it's not long term, but it's been a couple of months. And
and
now
it's
we're building up to SummerSlam. It's all starting to build a bit more in intensity, and LA Knight's getting more and more frustrated, and
yeah, because
we
Logan
know
Paul's
that
not
it's starting
turning
to
up.
come to a head. Yeah,
So Knight's starting to take things upon himself, like this Friday when he obviously signed the contract without Logan Paul
yeah,
there. Take
absolutely.
like he's just like, do you know what? I'm just going to do it all, and then I'm just going to steal your title at SummerSlam. End of
Yeah,
story. That's like where it's going. But and then Logan Paul's obviously he's just ignoring him now. He's literally not
yeah,
retaliating
yeah,
in anything, which again adds fuel to the fire because
yeah,
then LA
exactly.
Knight's getting in this build up of anger, just like frustration.
And because he's not getting answered, people are backing LA Knight even more than they already were. So they want to
Yeah.
see him kick the shit out of Logan because they're like, well, why is Logan ducking you?
So it's another great angle that's
Yeah,
started to appear within that as well. And yeah, it like again, there is a great element to that story
yeah,
with another 3 weeks as well to go before SummerSlam. So it's not like
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
going to be over like that. There's 3 more
that's
weeks,
right.
and obviously I can't see Logan Paul turning up until the night before, like he
No,
did
I would agree with you. Yeah, he'll
at
turn up on the Friday at
Backlash
SmackDown. Yeah,
with Kevin
yeah,
Owens and Randy Orton. He turned up the night before.
yeah. I totally agree. I think he'll do exactly the same. He'll turn up the night before for the press conference. He'll start spouting his mouth off. It'll infuriate LA Knight even more. And I think between the two of them, they're going to put on a hell of a match. I
Oh,
think it'll be
definitely.
great.
And it's such a great different, like there's such a great style of wrestling that each of them
Yeah,
have as well. It's so different that
yeah,
you're going to
absolutely.
have you're going to have a very technical and high flying
Yeah.
match.
But that's what I like about that idea of a match. I like it when two styles mix nicely. You know,
Mm.
like you see that two powerhouses don't always work together, but you see a powerhouse and a luchador, and sometimes they work really well. You know, it depends who's in the match. I mean, like you look at Money in the Bank. You got Braun Breaker and Sammy. Now you know how much I love Sammy, but it wasn't a great match by any means. I think the best match of the night was the
Mm.
women's Money in the Bank. There
Oh,
wasn't.
I solely agree there.
Yeah, Andrade was the MVP in the men's. You know, he in the men's Money in the Bank. Andrade was the best out of all of them.
Yeah.
Bron Breakker and Sammy didn't deliver what how I expected it to.
No, the
6-man
ending, like,
tag shouldn't have been the main event. I see why it is storyline wise. You understand why it is on that level, but the performance wise, it shouldn't have been.
no, so yeah, that Bron Breakker Sammy match, I just don't see why they made Bron Breakker lose cleanly. I don't understand. That was the only bit I didn't understand because
We had this
you've built
conversation with Sully, didn't we, on the podcast about
you've
people sometimes losing cleanly or having their finishes protected. I think
you've built
Bron
him
is
up.
big enough that he could have kicked out of a haluva kick before taking a loss.
You've built him up to be this unhinged animal that
Yeah,
can't be hurt, can't be broken, and one hell of a kick, and all of a sudden he's out for the
yeah.
count, and then he's lost.
I think he could have taken two. I think it would have been better for his character if he had taken two. But who
And it
knows
wouldn't,
who knows what the deal was.
yeah, but it wouldn't have diminished
No, I
Sammy's
don't think so.
finisher
No, I
because
don't think
we
so.
all know that
Because of
Bron Breakker is a powerhouse. He's a big
yeah,
guy. He's built to kick out of at least one finisher.
well, like Pat said, he's a brick shithouse.
Literally.
He's a brick shithouse. I love that clip, by the way. That's
Oh, it's great.
one of my favourite clips at the moment.
Two guys just enjoying their work.
And it's so good to see. Michael Cole is
Mm,
loving WWE more than he's ever loved WWE in his life. And he's been there,
literally.
nearly 30 years. And he is loving it more now than ever.
100%. And yeah, so the women's Money in the Bank match was
Yeah.
brilliant. It was electric from start to finish.
That spot
Like,
for Chelsea as well, that was huge. Taking
oh,
that fall off the ladder through those two tables. She landed it so well. She did. She impressed me, actually. And like, I'm not the biggest Chelsea fan, but I'm
I'm not
really
either,
impressed.
but she really
Yeah.
did show up for that match. Like her
Yeah,
biggest
she did,
match
definitely.
of her career, and she didn't put a foot wrong. Zoe
I
Stark
think she gets
had
more
a
out of it now,
few, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Once she's got this stupid neck brace off,
Yeah. Yeah. I did notice that. Being fed her drink by Piper Niven.
literally while she's checking Twitter.
Yeah.
But
I do want to say
yeah,
I want to talk about one spot in the men's match quickly. Sorry to go back, but that spot with Andrade dropping Mello on his head on that bridged ladder between the ladder and the ropes from the standing ladder. What a spot.
yeah.
What an absolute spot. Kudos to both men.
Mm. And now that's set up a rivalry between the pair.
Yeah,
because they've come a bit head to head this Friday, just
I
gone
think it'll be.
SmackDown.
And Andrade needs some direction. Mello
And
can
so,
make Mello has got his own direction anyway because he's that charismatic. But
mm,
Andrade needs some direction creative wise. Not in the sense that he's not good, but what I mean is he needs to be given a direction instead of being not used. You know, like
yeah.
the whole situation with Karrion Cross. Don't keep him stagnant. Push him, even if it is in a mid card storyline. Give him something because he will give you 100%.
Well, yeah, but and then this is also a building block to that
Yeah,
next level. So both of them from here can go into the US title picture
yeah,
straight away.
absolutely. They
It's
could
an
go for
open
number one
door.
contendership straight away. Yeah,
So yeah, it's nice to see that finally it looks
yeah.
like he's getting his push. He's getting his limelight.
I hope so. Um, what were your thoughts on the results overall for Money in the Bank?
I mean, so the women's Money in the Bank match, Tiffy winning. I think that was a right call.
I think it's a good call.
I think that I obviously went with Io Sky
I would
back
like
to
to have seen
back,
Io win it.
but
Io's impressive. She is probably one of the best at the moment
I
in the
think
division.
Tiffy's current story,
Yeah,
it makes sense for her to hold that briefcase. So yeah, I'm not against her winning that. I'm quite excited to see what
yeah.
that brings going forward with her
It's going to be
and
interesting because
Nia's
obviously
angle.
she's built that alliance. Nia's the queen. She's the princess. And obviously we had the segment on Friday with her, Bailey, and Nia.
Teasing the cash in as well, and
Yeah,
Nia stopping it. So SummerSlam could be very interesting
yeah, it could well be absolutely. And I
with
am
those.
excited because obviously, again, like we said, it's one of the big four. Um, there could be a lot of hype around it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Bloodline going forward for SummerSlam. Obviously, we've got Cody Rhodes and Solo. I don't see Solo winning it.
I see Roman Reigns appearing. No, not even. I'm saying it now. He's apparently scheduled to be on SmackDown on the 2nd, the day before.
Shit, really? I didn't know that. I've not seen this.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of.
I wouldn't have him back on the SmackDown. I'd have him come back at SummerSlam.
But I don't. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it might be
I
a
think
little.
that
I
would
think it might be a video segment of
right.
teasing the Roman return, and he comes back to help Cody at SummerSlam because
I don't know though. Is he gonna?
Solo's called Roman Reigns out,
Yeah, and he said if he wants this, he's got to take it.
and now he's going to
He's obviously
claim.
destroyed Paul Heyman as well.
Yeah, he's literally sent a statement to Cody as well. They like literally like ripped him apart on Friday.
Yeah,
He's getting everyone to acknowledge him. He's taken on that "acknowledge me" catchphrase
he
now.
said it to Cody on Friday, didn't he? Right before he gave him that Samoan spike. Oh, Andy said it in Money in the Bank when Jacob
Yeah,
Fatu, which mate, that guy is a monster. He's hugely athletic. He's quick. He's powerful. I mean, he has got it all.
he
Out of the
could be.
bloodline, he is the most interesting part of the bloodline right now.
Oh yeah, he could be Solo's biggest
Yeah,
threat
he could
going
be
down the
absolutely.
line because. Well, you look at the reactions of Randy Orton every time he thinks he's got one over Jacob, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like he's straight
Well,
up
I
like,
like it because I mean, I know I said about the no cells and stuff with the DDT that he took and everything like that, and I understand it. There is that old age thing of you never headbutt a Samoan or go for a Samoan's head because they are, monstrously strong and their bodies take it.
mm,
And I do like that they're keeping that alive for Jacob, but at the
he's,
same time, it's frustrating.
but he's
I'm,
just
I'm in two
so,
minds of it. He's a beast.
yeah, he's
And when I saw him hit that whisper in the wind on Cody at Money in the Bank, I was like, holy shit.
it's so clean with so many
Yeah,
moves that he like picks up. It's like he doesn't hesitate. He just instantly pulls the move off,
exactly. And if you
like the
and speaking
one-handed
of that,
backdrop, like the way
yeah,
he
the
just
Samoan
literally,
drop. That's what I was just about to say. If you look at the people that hit a Samoan drop, the likes of the Usos, Roman Reigns, Nia Jax, and the people that have done it before them, he probably drops one of the, if not the cleanest Samoan drop I've ever seen.
Yeah, because he just does it all in one move. He
Yeah,
doesn't
just one
anticipate it.
swift motion.
He literally drops himself, picks up, boom, straight back.
Yeah,
Whereas obviously others you see not a hesitation, but they slow it down obviously to be able to support.
yeah,
But he's just like he's got it all in one motion,
just
even to
fluid.
support.
Yeah,
It's he's very. I wouldn't like to come face to face with him. Let's put it that way
no, no, totally agree.
on that front.
Um, yeah, no, I totally agree.
But
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. I'd like to see him have a bit of a solo run, actually. Still be a part of the Bloodline, but get him in a solos match. Get him
well,
in a singles match, a one-on-one with somebody.
from Friday, I don't know if they've teased something of them potentially going after the tag team titles as well, because obviously he just come down and just demolished like
DIY.
DIY and
Yeah,
Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. So is it a statement that we're going to take all the belts, or is it
maybe. I
just
mean,
literally a
they
statement
had
that
it at one
don't
point,
get
didn't
in,
they? You know,
don't get in
Roman
my
was the
way?
WWE champion. Well, Roman was the undisputed champion, held both belts before they separated them. And
Yeah, the
you
Usos
know,
had the
and the
tag team
Usos had the,
titles.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's
So
possible.
is
Who are
it
you
a
going to have? It's not going to be Tonga Loa. I mean, Mr. Botch Job, which, as you
oh
called him, Botch Dog.
don't literally? So obviously you had that.
It'd have to
You
be
can't
Tama
even
Tonga and Fatu.
you can't even pull off a low blow like
Oh, mate, how bad was
that
that?
was. And then from this Friday as well, I saw another clip. It was like it come up saying, right, it was like Triple H says, right, we've got an easy spot for you. You can't mess this one up. And then obviously like Tongalo's like, okay, okay. And he's like, right, Triple H, just stand there in the ring and stare at Cody. And then at the bottom it just has dot dot dot. They showed an angle of it and he was nowhere to be seen. He didn't get in the ring at the right time. And it was just like, oh my God.
Oh my god!
So
It's
yeah,
just
I feel for because that's his third missed spot because obviously Backlash when he appeared
when he debuted,
appeared too
he was late.
appeared too late and luckily the ref threw himself out the ring.
Well, yeah, the ref was magically pulled out by an imaginary. Well, I think John Cena might have been there because nobody could see the fucker. I mean,
Yeah,
I think maybe John Cena was helping and pulled
John
him out. I
Cena
don't know.
saving the business
Yeah,
once again.
it's bad though, isn't it? That you've not been there that long and already the internet is trolling you with videos and botches that
Yeah,
you've had from previous fights and matches in other organizations. And you look at that where he's in New Japan and he's doing that chop and I mean,
yeah. What is that?
I know
Or what
that's
is
not.
that?
I don't know. Is that the promotion? Is that him and the other wrestler talking to each other? I'm going to go, well, we're going to do this tiny little step in this chop, and I'm going to do it like an anime thing where you're
It's
going to
just
make it look like I've
cringe,
hit you. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was so bad.
pure and utter cringe. If I'm
And
going to
that
tell you the truth,
619 he tried as well for the
yeah.
video. My goodness.
Why, why is a guy like that build? Would you even try it? It's
No
not.
idea.
It's nothing to
No
do with
idea.
you. So just leave that move alone.
Yeah, exactly. But I think overall, Money in the Bank left a lot to be desired. Um,
Yeah. Well, when you put that when that 6-man tag was billed as the main event, I thought, okay, here we go. Something's going to
yeah,
happen. Something big's going to happen because you don't put that as a main event without something happening, and nothing
exactly. You
happened.
would think that. And that's my point. And the fact that that Triple H was saying, "Oh, we've got all these surprises and stuff." The only surprise to me, because I hadn't seen anything about it, was John Cena showing up.
Yeah,
Um,
that was
that
gutting.
was sad. It was gutting because as somebody that's watched the product for years and has seen him there, for 22 years on and off.
I still remember his debut,
Exactly. Yeah, I still remember it.
like as clean as
I
day
think a
as
lot of
well.
people do. Yeah, exactly. And it is sad, but I genuinely at the moment in time, I think like I and a lot of other people around the world thought he's retiring now. Like he's saying
Oh,
it right
that's what
now.
I thought
Yeah.
because he's
So I'm
obviously
I'm
got
I'm
that.
really
The
glad
last
that
time is now, and I was like,
yeah,
no.
exactly.
But
That's what
yeah,
it was, yeah. But I'm glad that we've got him for 2025. But
WrestleMania.
I get it. I get it. You know, he is getting older. He has lost size. He's not as fast. He's not as strong. His body is
But
getting on.
he's pursued obviously acting, and
Yeah,
he's a big like actor now. Like he's getting a lot of gigs.
he's
He's
doing well for
enjoying that,
himself. Exactly.
and probably in a small minority maybe, but I actually like most of the. I'm not
I
90% of
do
the
like
stuff
some of
he's
his
in.
films. Yeah, I've
I
seen some
enjoy
of
it
them.
because he's just playing himself.
Yeah,
He's like yeah,
exactly.
just
He's having fun with it.
exactly yeah. Why not? And like you say,
But it's like he got
he
criticised,
looks
didn't he, for
older as
doing.
well, doesn't he? You can
He got Yeah. You can see it in his body. You can see it in his face. You can
mm,
see it in his hair. You know, he's not as big as he once was, and that's
taken his
happens.
toll. Where
Yeah,
he was at that one point, he was the pinnacle. He was constantly wrestling like every day. He
yeah.
was just carrying the business on his
And
shoulders.
that
And
time's gonna take the toll on you when you're doing that much every day of the week for 300 days of the year, year in, year out. How is it not gonna take a toll on
and
your body?
he never had a small match. It was always he was
No.
always involved in the big matches, so he had to
Yeah,
put
exactly.
extra work into that. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's just come back and
It's sad. It's sad. I totally understand it, but I'm just hopeful that whatever pay-per-view he's at next year, I'm gonna get to watch all of them. I hope that if they do a PLE in the UK next year, he's there.
yeah.
It'd be great to see that and see him have another match over here. I mean, because if that is the case, then I will do my damnedest to get there as well.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, like you say, it's sad, but I've got high hopes that
Yeah,
our man Cena is winning the Rumble, and he's going to win that 17th title at WrestleMania,
I hope
and then
so.
he'll come out on Monday after
And he'll
WrestleMania,
relinquish it.
and he'll literally with his boots put it all there as if to say, "I'm done."
Yeah, I
And
think
you know what?
that would be a way to go out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I can't see, especially the old like for our generation of wrestling fans, especially, you wouldn't be annoyed that he's won that title
No,
at WrestleMania and then
I don't
it's
think
been
so. But I
relinquished.
don't think that he wins the world championship. I think if he
No,
gets anything, it
it's the
has to be the
undisputed.
WWE title. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
it's John Cena.
yeah, definitely. And like you say, the world title right now is in the hands of the new generation. You can't take
Yeah,
that away. Whereas the WWE Championship, it can be moved around a few people at the moment.
yeah,
So it's not like there's a constant story because Cody doesn't have a set storyline, whereas Priest does for that title. Because
yeah.
obviously you've got Gunther in the wings, you've got Seth in the wings, you've got Drew in the wings. Like
You got
Cena's not
Punk in the
going to.
wings as well. I know that he's not. I know that he hasn't gone after Priest,
No, but he's involved
but
himself in that
he's involved
mix,
in that 4-man mix now. Yeah.
and Cena's not going to. I don't think he would even want to get in the way of them
No,
and hinder
I
their
think.
career. Whereas the other
Do you know
side,
what I think happens? I think. I mean, I may be totally way off, but what if Randy wins the championship before the new year, or wins at the Rumble?
I was about to say, what if at the Rumble he wins
What
the
if Randy
title,
wins at the
Cena wins the
Rumble,
Rumble?
and then him and Cena have, because they've got to have that match.
Yeah,
There has to be that match. The rivalry that went on between Orton and Cena was one of the best ever.
and they've said
They
it
have
as
to have
well
that one last time.
themselves that they want to
Yeah,
they want that match against each other again.
and that would be
So
perfect if he had that as his last match and he beats Randy Orton for his 17th record-breaking title, and then goes out on Monday, does his goodbye to Raw, and then comes to SmackDown on Friday and lays it down in the middle of the ring with his little napkin thing, whatever it bloody is,
last time
and
is
puts
now.
it down, puts his hat down, and walks off.
Mm, that'd be
Mm.
beautiful. It's better be a sweet ending, wouldn't it?
It would
Bit of
be a sweet
sweet
ending. I mean,
ending.
it'd be really upsetting and gutting. And as much as it may sound stupid, I will be sad. I will be sad because that would just be. I mean, you look at the eras of wrestling that our age group has gone through. We're seeing Stone Cold retire, The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, and all these greats that were there through our childhoods. And then as we got a little bit older into our teens, you got John Cena and Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar, and now they're coming up to the point where they're going to look at retiring.
Yeah, it's
sad. It is sad.
Yeah, because your greats are starting to fall off their perch, but it's nice that we've got a decent group of the new generation.
Yeah.
To keep things on track.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas,
and again, and if you look at it 10 years
5
time,
years ago,
maybe even
you wouldn't have said that.
No, I totally agree. 5 years ago, that wouldn't have been the case. I mean, I don't know. It's like John Moxley. I love John Moxley. The man is an absolute. He's just insane, and I'd love for him to come back to WWE. It'll never happen, I don't think, but I would love for him to come back to WWE under John Moxley rather than Dean Ambrose, and then let him be what he is in AEW, but with a good story. Because AEW are renowned for not running huge stories. They run small stories and snippets. And that's okay. If that works for you, that's fine. If you're delivering great matches, again, that's fine. But a lot of wrestling fans like the story. They like the build up. They like to see the increase in intensity. And John Moxley would thrive under an amazing story. And I think with the direction of Triple H, he would do it. But I don't ever see him coming back, unfortunately.
No,
Daniel Bryan has been told by a lot of people, go back to WWE when your contract is up with AEW. Go back.
Interesting.
A lot of people are urging him to go back to WWE.
That could be very interesting if that was to appear, because I still think there's going to be a few of them. I think want to come back now.
I think so, and you can understand why. You know, like we've said previously, you know, WWE's always been great. It's had its moments where it's not been as good, and then you find out all the news and the stories, and you realise, okay, I understand why a lot of people left. Vince was clearly a toxic bloke. I mean, for God's sake, look at what we did to CM Punk. I know they weren't on the best of terms, but he had a courier deliver his termination papers to CM Punk on CM Punk's wedding day.
That just tells you all you need to know about Vince McMahon.
Exactly. And I get that you might not get on. I get that you had a bad parting of ways. But to go out of your way to make sure that you get your termination papers on your wedding day, that's just a whole other level of pettiness, isn't it? And trying to say that I've got the last word.
Yeah, it's just sour grapes, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. But yeah, SummerSlam could be good. Money in the Bank.
Got some build-ups already for SummerSlam, but yeah,
we
Money
have
in
got some
Bank.
build-ups. But the one build-up I'm looking forward to, I'm just going to skip from Money in the Bank for just a moment. The one build-up that I'm looking forward to, and the highlight of Raw on Monday after Money in the Bank. Mummy's back.
Oh, and she's back with a bang.
Oh my goodness.
What a moment to walk back in on as well.
2 seconds later, if they had just I know he's married, but if they'd just let him get that close to Liv's lips and then she came out, it would have made it just a little. Don't get me wrong, it was a great comeback and it was amazing the way it was done. But I think if they'd just got the smidges closer to their lips, it just would have made it a little bit nicer, a little bit sweeter.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was.
But Liv, how quickly did she run? She was out.
She was gone as soon as that. As soon as that music dropped, she was gone. But it was. Yeah, it was. What's the word? It was set up perfectly.
Yeah.
And it was just at that moment when Dom was about to turn and actually be thankful for Liv. And Mummy's like, I've had enough. This is it. I'm back. And yeah, literally storming down to the ring.
I know, literally,
and
like after Liv.
An angry
bypass
mother.
The ring straight after Liv, and then she's saying to Dom, "Look at me, Mummy's back."
Oh, and then
he goes to give her a hug. little slimy prick goes to give her a cuddle, and she just pushes past him.
And then you've got the backstage view of
Oh
Priest
yeah, of
watching it
course.
and laughing.
But
Because
then
obviously
also the
throughout the
backstage
night,
view of Liv looking through the curtain and turning around with a huge smile on her face.
what I can't understand though, I know like, yeah, you pick the weak link and go after
Yeah.
them, but if that's the case, why is Priest getting involved? Why is Finn getting involved? Let Liv do it all on her own. Like,
So obviously there's that theory that with Finn and Liv, there's been that
yeah,
story from way back before Finn joined the Bloodline and had that 6-man tag with Liv and AJ. There is that theory that they've been planning this together. And then you see the little snippets with Finn where Liv's been in the dressing room with him alone. He's the one that took the key card. It does kind of play on your mind a little bit, and it does make you wonder what the hell is going on. I think Priest is just like, well, Dom's going to get his just desserts. I tried to warn him, but he didn't listen. So it's just funny now because he's
acting
been
like a
caught out
dad.
by Mummy. He's like an older brother. He's just like,
Yeah,
he's
because
like an older brother.
obviously
He's like, I tried to fucking tell you.
he's you saw the backstage segment of him on
Yeah,
the phone, and he was obviously talking to Rhea
to
Ripley,
Mummy.
to
Yeah.
Mummy, about meeting her to obviously get her back, and then obviously they walked in on Dom and Liv having the stretching backstage,
Yeah.
and then you got Carlito cracking me up
Carlito is pure comedy at the moment.
when he turns round and Priest says it's something about it's not that hard, and
Why
Carlito
haven't you
goes,
walked away from me yet? It's not that
it is
hard.
hard."
It looks hard. I died when I watched that. I was like, oh my
Oh,
God.
fucking
Oh my
brilliant!
God.
And
When
then
they hit Netflix in January, they are going to be 100% unfiltered.
it's going to be insane. And
I mean,
the thing
think
that
about it.
cracked me
Pat
up was
McAfee
his
is
little
going to
bit
be unleashed in January, and that is going to be mental.
his little bit on that Liv and Dom backstage where he was doing his own analytics
Yeah.
of it, like analysts, and he's literally circling everywhere, but he's just circling basically Dom's crotch, saying it's all going on here. This is where the real movement is.
Pat's another level of funny. I love that man. But yeah, Carlito's comedy gold at the moment. He's on par with R-Truth right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, truth sort of taken a step back, but I don't know if
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
this is to
obviously
build his
he had
story
that
because I think
6-man
him and the
tag.
Miz are coming
Yeah,
to on a collision course right
I
now
think so.
because
Because I mean,
he's starting to piss him off.
if you look what happened on Monday, he obviously ran the train with Braun Strowman, took out Carlito, and then JD Braun left and ran over, and ran after Bobblehead Jim, and then Truth got knocked into the Miz by Finn, and then took the loss. Miz is gonna start. Yeah, he's gonna start getting pissed.
Well, it's obviously 2 weeks on the trot because obviously they lost the tag
Yeah,
titles. It was because
exactly.
Truth got distracted. They lost
Yep.
this week again because Truth got distracted. He was too busy geeing up the
Cheering
crowd,
to the
and
crowd. Yep.
then you just see that look on Miz's face at the end, just like disappointment. So
Yeah,
I could see that being a little mini storyline of
I think
them
so.
two coming together,
Yeah.
it'll be a nice little story. It'll be like a bit of a fresh air storyline.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also going to be interesting to see because obviously, as I mentioned to you, they had this live event in Mexico this week, and you had Dom and Liv teaming together again. I know it's a live event, doesn't usually feed into the storyline, but Priest had a bit of a face turn, kind of.
Mm.
Um, Ray, I think, was teamed up with Bailey because Bailey was wearing a luchador mask. I think she was out there with Ray, teaming against Liv and Dom. Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Priest. Is he going to go on a fate? I don't think he's going to leave Judgment Day. I
Mm.
mean, I don't think he wants to because obviously he's just brought Rhea back, kind of. And he's having. I think I don't know. It's going to be weird to see what happens there. It's going to be interesting to see tonight
With Mummy's
what
return
happens. Yeah,
because she's
because
scheduled to be there and obviously I think she's opening the show as well.
I was going to say it wouldn't surprise me if she's scheduled for a segment for sure.
So, so yeah, she's going to go straight for Liv, address
Yeah,
that situation.
yeah, she's going to want to go for the jugular immediately, absolutely. But Raw last week was, I mean, yeah, Raw last week was fantastic, and we got to say it. SmackDown the last 2 weeks has been pretty poor,
Yeah, it's
but
been very lackluster.
Raw this past week was great. I really
You had
enjoyed it. I
the
think I think it's a good Raw.
you had the Jay Chad match, didn't you? And
Yeah.
then obviously the Wyatt Six
Again,
made
Jay
another.
is just brilliant. He beats Chad and then goes yeet and runs away. He's like, I'm not hanging the fuck around.
But what I liked about it, obviously, it was Pat's first
Yeah,
episode back, and then they've
yeah,
obviously
because
been
obviously they
trying
handed
to
the
deliver
first
them
video to
to
Cole. Yeah,
him because it's always been addressed to Pat,
yeah.
and then obviously he's back this week, and
But
yeah,
again, I
that
think for me, the highlight next to Mummy being back was when Adam Pearce went into his office and Bo was sat there.
yeah that
Not Howdy, Bo.
very interesting
Yeah,
that because obviously we've known the Wyatt Six and him as Uncle Howdy, and
yeah.
but all of a sudden he's sitting in Pierce's room as Bo Dallas. So
And his segment again, that video package was fantastic. The
yeah,
way that they've done it again, and Bo is yeah, he's making really good moments, and he's playing this part incredibly well.
he's got to keep it up though.
Yeah, I think he
That's the
will
thing.
do. I think the thing is, he resonates with this character, and he resonates with the story. And he's already said that he feeds off of childhood memories and traumas and life traumas that he's
Mm.
experiencing. He knows friends have experienced and stuff. And I think that because it's so close to him, he's going to do it so incredibly well, and I think he'll continue to. I don't think he'll skip a beat with this.
No, I just want to know where they're going to go because are we actually going to see them participate in a match, or are they just going to keep up this threatening behaviour where obviously they're
Yeah, it's
stalking
going to be
people?
interesting from that side of things for sure, isn't it? To see exactly what happens as to whether they are, like you say, if they're going to be in any in-ring action, or if are they just going to be these characters that are looming and focusing on some people in particular at any given time. Like at the moment, obviously they seem to still be targeting Chad to a degree.
Yeah, there could be an angle that yeah they sort of challenge Chad, or
Yeah.
yeah, it's a weird one because obviously they've just been teasing Abby the Witch dropping off the package,
Hmm.
a video segment. Yeah, they've not really come out and actually interfered with a
No.
match or done something to that level where you think, right, now we know what their angle is for who they're chasing, and then this is where it's going to go. It's right now. It's just sort of it's great because it leaves us on our edge of our seats. It's like
Well,
it's
that's the
leaving us
thing.
wanting
Yeah.
more because we don't know where it's going. We don't know what they're going to
Yeah.
do next, who they're going to go for, why they're going for whoever.
Absolutely.
It's yeah, it's another. I need more. I need
I
more.
think it's another long-term thing, isn't it? They're building it up to be a long-term storyline. Like you said, they're leaving you on the edge of your seat. You don't know what's going to happen next. Are they going to come out and call somebody out? Are they going to attack somebody? But the thing is, if you look at the previous segments, so the first segment when they returned, nobody was physically seen to be attacked. When they did the whole backstage segment, all the security and everybody in Chad Gable and Gunter, or we assumed it was Gunter, but you know, some people said it was Gunter. I don't know, but they were all just flat out already. So you're just assuming they're attacked, but we haven't physically seen them actually go after anybody as yet.
No. They just always appear on
Yeah,
Jey Uso's
whenever he
music.
wins, or yeah, exactly, whenever he's due to have his music play. But I still think that Chad might be a cover up after what you said with Jay. I still think that that could be a good theory on it. That
Because if you look
that
at it,
Jay,
like, where is Jay going? Like, but he's not. He's out of the top world title picture
yeah,
completely now. The Intercontinental title has took its own path, and he's not followed on that path.
yeah,
So where is it? He's sort of just on his own
he's in
in the
limbo.
abyss. Like, so this is why I feel that the Wyatt Six has more to do with him,
Yeah,
because it
I
doesn't look like
reckon
he's
he
going
could
back
end up back on
to.
SmackDown.
That was where I was going to say it. Like at this
Yeah,
moment, obviously, but it doesn't look like he's going back there anytime soon. But Roman obviously hasn't returned. Jimmy's not come back, so there's no need to
Jimmy's
push him
cleared
over
now,
there
isn't
yet.
he? Jimmy's
Yeah,
been cleared to come back, so that's going to be interesting to see. I It could be even more likely that maybe Roman doesn't show up at SummerSlam. I'd love for him to, don't get me wrong. But maybe Jimmy does instead. Maybe Jimmy comes up and costs Solo.
that'd be quite funny.
Yeah. Maybe Jimmy comes back and costs Solo,
And then maybe then they start attacking Jimmy, and then obviously Jay comes for the save,
potentially.
putting himself
Potentially.
back in the line because yeah, like you say, right now he's the guy's got no direction.
No, he hasn't, and
He's
that's the thing.
he's lost, completely lost, like a
Yeah.
deer in headlights.
And the thing is they're still giving him in ring action. He's still getting the wrestle time and the TV time, which is great. And he needs that. But like you said, creatively wise, story wise, where can he go from here without winning without winning the IC championship or the world championship? What's he got now? He lost the money in the bank. He's lost to Chad. He's beat Chad a couple of times, but he lost to Gunther to go through for King of the Ring.
Lost to Priest
He's
in the world title
yeah,
match. So
exactly.
yeah, and like I say, with the Intercontinental title, it's obviously bronze there.
I
Sheamus
think
is
there's
hovering, and
Braun, Sheamus,
tonight,
definitely Dragunov. I think
well,
Dragunov.
tonight it's the title's on the line. Dragunov versus Sammy.
Well, I think it should be as well. I think so. I was going to say, Sammy. It wouldn't surprise me if he does put it up against Dragunov because he's in that fold and he's helped Sammy. Sammy's helped him. It's going to be a respect thing that he's going to say, okay, well, I'm going to give you a shot. Dragunov
And
would
then
make a great
Bron's
IC champion as well.
Bron's going to come down and ruin the party.
I think so. Yeah, because he's just majorly unhinged at the moment.
And obviously Ludwig is in that conversation as well.
But
So,
where is Ludwig? Where's he been? We haven't seen him for a few weeks.
well, he keeps trying to tease something with Sheamus, but Sheamus is obviously gunning for to be the first ever Ultimate Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, because he would have won every single belt
Yeah, and
because he's won the world
he's
heavyweight.
teased
He's
it
won the
himself as well.
WWE. Yeah.
He said that's what he wants. He wants to
Well,
be the
that's yeah. It's
first
funny
ever.
enough because and it's the same with John Cena. It's the only one that both of them haven't won. The
Mm.
IC Championship is the only one that eludes them both.
But yeah, Sheamus has got more. There's more logic to Sheamus getting
Yeah,
it than Cena. Obviously, now with Cena on his last run,
yeah,
it's
because and obviously Sheamus is still active. It was interesting actually. It was interesting to see Sheamus come down for the save over Pete Dunne after Bronson Reed was attacking him, and then he just kind of shunned him away. I mean, obviously he's running solo at the moment because Tyler Bates just had surgery. So
yeah.
the
Obviously,
new
still
catch.
pissed at Sheamus, isn't he?
Well,
So
I guess so.
it was quite an interesting
Yeah,
angle, yeah. Because obviously, and then yeah, I think this week you've got Bronson Reed taking on Sheamus
yeah. That'd be
because
a good match.
Sheamus wanted it last week, but
Yeah,
Bronson was in the match against Pete.
yeah. That'd be a good match actually.
Yeah,
It should be a really good match.
and then
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens tonight for sure. Look at over what's happened over the last couple of weeks. It's definitely going to be an interesting one.
last week you had Seth and Punk obviously have a little face
Yeah,
off, war of the words, and Then you had
But I liked that
it was
segment. I
always
thought that segment
about
was really good.
actions have consequences.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great that I loved the part when obviously Punk's giving it and chatting waffle, and then all of a sudden Seth's music drops. So and then he decides to go and sit ringside with Pat and Cole
I
and
know, I
start
love him.
obviously chatting on, saying, "Oh, this is going to take forever." And then obviously he called out Cole. She's like, "So you used my government name, did you?"
Yeah. I thought it was great at Money in the Bank when Punk attacked Drew, and he goes, "Phil, what are you doing?" He goes, "My job."
It was, and then you've just got Pat sitting there with no headset on and just singing away to Seth Rollins' song, and Punk
That's
just
great.
like,
The
oh,
Pat
it
and
was,
Michael at the moment, the way they're interacting together, you can tell they're great friends. You can tell they have the best laugh. But the fact
mm,
that they're allowed to express that now, because that never would have happened. You know, I mean,
no,
there's one clip there. Michael was asking Vince before, "Do I have to keep plugging this promotion because I've said it literally 20 seconds ago?" And then you can hear him in the headset going, yes, sir, okay, sir, I'll do it.
it's
Whereas
just,
now, they're just having the time of their lives.
well, they're allowed to actually commentate how they want to
Yeah,
commentate.
like
Like, there's
that brick
no,
shithouse segment with Pat, where he's a brick shithouse. There's no other words to describe him, and he goes, "Well, actually, there's plenty of other ways to describe him." But yeah, and then he turns around and then he's just laughing, and then he goes, "I'm so sorry."
and there's been other instances of that, of Pat just bringing up random stuff, and
Yeah,
Cole's just like, are you really saying that? And then they just
I
start
know.
cracking up to each other.
It's great. It's great. But yeah, I think, like you say, I think the segment with Punk and Seth, I like the fact that they're going toe to toe, and I like the fact that Punk said to him, "Look, it's nothing personal. I didn't mean to screw you over. Towards me and you, it's nothing personal. It was I wasn't trying to disrespect you, you know. But this guy is going around, and now I'm in for it with him, and I will get my pound of flesh."
It still didn't sit with Seth because he's like, well, no, you've cost me and a
I love
shot
what
at
he
the
said to him
title.
as well. I love what Seth said to him when he said, "I could just take a cheap shot at you, but I know that your fragile little body isn't 100% yet. So
There was
when
some
you are back and you are clear, before you can even say Drew McIntyre, I will snap your arm and put you back on the shelf."
some great like there was some great moments between them, and that you could feel the hate in some of the comments they're
Yeah,
throwing towards each other, but yet they weren't showing how much
yeah,
hate towards each other they have.
they
But
were professional enough to keep it on a wrestling level rather than a personal level. Yeah, that's what I
which
mean.
is
I think that's why these three men in that scope of things work well, because they are doing it so professionally, but you can feel the tension. You can feel the hatred between them, but you also know that they're doing it because they love the business and they love what they're doing.
definitely, and like I say tonight, Drew's obviously back because that
Yeah.
suspension's been lifted. So that's going to
Is
be
Punk going to be
very
there?
interesting. It's not
Oh,
Chicago, so probably not.
let's face it. Let's face it. For the Rhea isn't opening. It'll be fucking Drew McIntyre opens. He'll take the show hostage and say, "I'm not going anywhere." Be like the good
Oh
old
mate,
days. I'm
that
sitting
would be
here until
brilliant.
I get what I want.
That would be great.
It
Just
would be, yeah.
literally
I think it would be.
hitting on Punk's old
Yeah,
promotion, and yeah, that would be great. But then, like later on in Raw, obviously we had Priest and Seth come face to face, and then Priest was like, "I know we had a gentleman's agreement, but screw it. When like just name a time and a place, and you've got another shot."
yeah,
And then Seth just walks off giggling. Like that's an interesting spot because
yeah, for sure.
it makes you think. Then is he going to beat Gunther at SummerSlam? Because
Well, Priest, maybe.
Seth's not going to want to do it on a Raw unless it's like a big Raw.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like the Raw after SummerSlam, possibly. So there's an interesting assumption out of that maybe Gunther doesn't win it.
I mean, we haven't seen him, and like you said last time before we had Sully on last week, the podcast before, there was no mention of him up until Money in the Bank. There was no mention of him at all, other than on Money in the Bank they said, "Oh, we can't forget that the King of the Ring, Gunther, has also got a guaranteed shot against Damian Priest against the champion at SummerSlam." But where's he been? He hasn't been on any Monday Night Raws. He's, as far as I'm aware, he's not injured. I wonder if
No,
he's got some personal stuff that he's having to deal
he
with. I
is
don't
there
know.
tonight though. He is there tonight. They are having a face off between the pair of
Right.
them. They are coming face to face. So hopefully we see him
Well, hopefully he'll be there for the next few
more
weeks. So I
regularly.
think he should have he needs to have a match before as well, surely, even if it's just a warm up match. Like him and Seth Rollins would have a good match.
Just anyone, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly.
Just
Just need to see him in action again. Because for him to be out and then just come back and go, oh, okay, well, I've got a championship match, makes no
it
sense for him
doesn't.
to win then.
No,
So maybe
not at all.
Priest does retain.
Yeah, I mean, Priest to retain until I don't know,
Well,
Bad Blood.
maybe, I don't know.
Well, Bad
When's
Blood, I
Bad
think
Blood?
November,
November.
September. Is it
Okay.
September maybe or
Don't
November?
know. Obviously, we've got SummerSlam in August.
But yeah, because well, Bad Blood being announced was huge. Like
Oh,
that
yeah, God,
is, like
absolutely.
I said, that is Netflix's open door now
Yeah,
because that is going to
for
set
sure.
up rolling into the Netflix era. There is a lot of shit is going to happen at Bad Blood. You remember,
That's
you
what
just got
it's
to go
about.
back to, you got to go back to old school days of Bad
Yeah,
Blood. It
yeah,
was literally, it was just blood-fested TV.
yeah, exactly. That's
And
exactly what it
now,
was.
and I just love that they brought it back as Bad Blood as well. They've not
Yeah,
changed it a word in. They've not tried to alter it to match guidelines of how we can read it or whatever. They've just no Bad Blood.
yeah.
It's
But
back.
it's self-explanatory, isn't it? It's, this is where you come to end the grudge of all grudges. This is your, you know, this, if you want to beat the shit out of someone, you beat the shit out of someone.
It makes me wonder that are they actually going to bring back hardcore matches and actually
I
is the
never did
hardcore.
like it when they changed hardcore to Extreme Rules. I get that it was a nod to ECW, but for me, hardcore just always, it just hit a bit different. It's a hardcore match for a reason, and you used to have like the likes of Raven walking down the aisle with a shopping cart, and he'd have a trash can, a kendo stick, a hockey stick, a stop sign, a bloody flamethrower, a fire hydrant, and all
Mm.
these amazing things that you could beat the living shit out of your opponent with. That was a hardcore match, you know.
They were great though, like those old school
Yeah, they
hardcore
were.
matches. They were because they weren't always just in the ring. Like you would just
No,
there'd be like
they'd go everywhere.
random backstage
Yeah,
segments
it
turn
was like
into
the
a hardcore
24/7
match
title, but it had meaning.
and brutality.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we all wanted.
I mean, it was a title that actually, although it was you could win it any time, any place,
Yeah.
it still had meaning to it because they had a triple threat match at WrestleMania for it, for God's sake.
Yeah, well, exactly. This is the thing. And again, that's another thing. Tag team titles. Why are they not being defended again at PLEs and only defended at week shows? You
Well,
had
yeah,
them
because
swap
obviously,
over at WrestleMania, but they haven't been on a PLE since.
no, because obviously DIY have now taken the tag team titles off of Theory and Waller,
And that's
which,
going to be interesting to see what happens there because obviously they've been coming to head a few weeks. And then obviously Grayson Waller this week smashed Theory in the face with a huge knee, which
and then yeah, they got absolutely beaten the shit out of by
annihilated
then
by Jacob.
Jacob
Yeah,
Fatu, which again, actually, who was it? Was it Grayson pushed Waller? No, sorry, Grayson pushed Theory into Jacob, didn't he?
yeah.
Or was it the other way around?
I don't know. I'd have to watch it back.
I can't remember. Either way, one of them threw the other into Jacob Fatu.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's Grayson throwing Theory into Fatu.
which again leads to that I'm better than you
Yeah,
stance that they want to get over each other now. I'm
yeah,
glad DIY won the titles though. I'm happy that
yeah. I like DIY.
it's actually gone to a worthy tag team.
Yeah, I like DIY. I think DIY are a good team. But again, the maybe that's why they're not being defended on PLEs. The tag team division is
Weak,
short.
weak. It's very weak.
Yeah, it is very weak. Yeah, and I think that's putting it politely. To be fair,
Like there is no standout tag team.
no, there's not. There's not one team that you'd go, okay, yeah, that's them.
There's just it's the same types. They're all just the same, really.
Yeah.
They're similar
I
to
mean,
one
like
another.
even
But
AOP, where have they been? And this whole Final Testament, I still don't get it. You know, you saw the video package of Karrion Cross saying to Xavier, you know, I'm going to hospital. You know, you could be a talent. I've always thought you're a world class talent, but Kofi dragged you down, and if you don't come to your senses, I'm going to put you in a hospital like I did Kofi. But why? I mean, where's this all come from? They just is Karrion just grown frustrated backstage and gone, do you know what? You need to give me something or I'm gone. And they've gone, okay, we'll give you something, give you some direction, but it's just not it's not a good direction. But it
boring
makes no
direction.
sense to me. Yeah, exactly. It makes no sense to me at all.
It's a shame because the guy's got talent,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
yet they're just wasting it with him fighting. But I'm not saying like the New Day are jobbers, but
Yeah,
they're just it, the AOP can do that job against the New Day.
yeah,
Carrion needs to be like put in the ring against the likes of Sheamus and Ludwig, Dragonov.
yeah. Shame. Yeah, exactly.
He's
Braun
in that.
Breaker. You know.
He's in
Yeah,
that category of
I think so.
superstars.
Give him a match with Andrade. I think they'd put a hell of a match on together. You
Like
know, put him in that
he's
notoriety of the upper mid card with,
he-
like you say,
that's
with
what
the
he
likes
is.
of Mello, Bronson Reed, Ludwig, Sheamus, not Breaker, you know, LA Knight and all that. And I think he'd do well there. And I think then he and Scarlett could thrive on their own. AOP
Yeah.
can stay with Paul Ellery. Maybe they can push AOP as a dominant tag team.
Well, yeah, like AOP could be something that like the APA were because they're like big
Yeah,
guys. They're a protection. They're protection as well.
yeah,
That's what they're
exactly.
built. That's what they're built as. Like these protectors. They're like bouncers, which
Yeah,
APA were. So
APA were great.
turn it. Obviously, they're never going to match that
No,
level, but they can go that direction.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at APA, they had very limited wrestling time, but they had loads of screen time. And you know, Bradshaw and Farouk together were great. They used to sit
Mm.
there smoking their cigars, drinking beer. They had that door open in the middle of just the table playing poker, and they had a door that people had to walk through, even though you could walk around it to their little office. It was great. And then just their music would hit, and you'd go, oh shit, it's going down.
Literally, and yeah, they never left a stone unturned in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
JBL's clothesline from hell was literally, it might as well have been the
Oh,
clothesline of death because
yeah.
I'm surprised he never killed anyone
I
forming that.
know he put so much power behind that every time.
It
And he was
was
a
an
beast as Bradshaw.
animal.
He was a beast as Bradshaw. I think when he left APA and became John Bradshaw Layfield, don't get me wrong, he had that championship run where he's like the champion for over a year. But I still think he was better as Bradshaw.
Yeah, because they could change his character completely, so he became
Yeah,
like this.
became this billionaire
this
tycoon from Texas.
yeah, that deserved to have it
Mm.
all, and
Yeah.
no one can step in my way. And but then at the same time, he did have some great matches and
When you look
rivalries
at the
during
matches that
that.
he had with Cena for the
Batista,
championship and stuff, yeah,
Ray,
yeah.
it,
Well, he retired to Ray, didn't he? Because Ray beat him inside like 18 seconds for the IC championship at WrestleMania, and then he retired.
so He was.
He had a
He was.
great
He
rivalry
was.
with,
He was a great. He was. He was. But he was always that guy that you just wanted to punch in the face as a
yeah,
fan.
yeah. You love to
No
hate him.
matter. Yeah. No matter what he done, you just hated the guy.
Absolutely.
Like
I
he.
think so. I fucking
But
hated him.
he done it perfect though. He was the
Yeah.
perfect villain
But
to
that's the
everything.
thing, and I think that's the thing with like Dom. You know, everybody hates Dom because he turned on his dad, he beat his dad up, because everybody can resonate with that storyline. You know,
Yeah.
everybody can resonate with if you don't turn on your dad kind of
No.
thing. And he, you know, the fact that he can't pick up a microphone without being booed at by 15,000 fans, solidly booed as well. Not just booed, like I mean, massively booed.
Oh yeah. To a point where you can't even.
Yeah,
The microphone's not loud enough.
yeah. That just shows how well he's played that part.
Oh,
And
perfection. To
there
be
are
honest with
people
you.
that have done it, but like you say, you know, going back to the original point with AOP, they could be that kind of thing. They could be like a protection agency or just a solid tag team with the right story. But then there are a lot of people that, you know, you look at the size difference. I mean, it would be too easy to have AOP as a tag team with, you look at the size wise. I mean, like even Waller and Theory are not massive in comparison to AOP, but they're huge compared to DIY.
Yeah.
You know, so DIY compared to AOP would just be, I mean, the size difference would be ridiculous.
Yeah. They've got to do something with the tag team division. They
Yeah,
need to. They need to freshen it
absolutely.
up
Oh, yeah,
somehow.
100%. I agree, and they need to do more with Umberto and what's his name? I can't even remember his name now.
Oh
Umberto
yeah.
and Angel Garza.
Yeah. Because again, they've got raw
Yeah,
potential, but we're not allowed to see it. Like they're going up against. Like I love Corbin. I love Apollo, but
yeah.
these like Angel and Berto, they should not be going up against these two
No,
in a rivalry. They need to be
they're already a bona
being
fide tag team on their own. You know,
getting
they should
pushed.
be going against the likes of, you know, if you look on a Monday Night Raw, who are they really going to be going against? I mean, they could be set up to go against the Miz and Truth and escalate, you know, and elevate themselves up a bit towards those championships between Finn and Bubblehead. But yeah, I don't see it. I mean, Corbin and Apollo could make a good tag team.
Again, yeah, they've got potential, but they need to push that story now and
Yeah,
keep it. So then we've actually got something to look forward to because it will more than likely you won't see Corbin or Apollo on TV for probably another month again.
and that's a shame because Corbin's such a good wrestler and his character work is great. He could actually have a really good solo run. And I still don't see why to this day he hasn't held a world championship.
Yeah, again came so close,
Yeah.
and then it just completely fizzled out.
But Corbin's great. Guy, I mean you look at his work, like we were saying
This
Sully the other
Corbin
day.
is great.
This Corbin is
Like
great.
this
Happy
version of
Corbin
him.
was great. Homeless Corbin was great. Lone Wolf Corbin when he first came in with the long hair, didn't like him.
Mm.
Didn't like him. But the version that he is now, I think he's really good. I like him.
Yeah, like speaking of solo runs, though, like I feel like Dom could have a great solo run
Dom's got everything
now.
you need to have a solo run now. Yeah, absolutely. I totally
I
agree.
think
His
he's worked himself into a position where
yeah,
he's comfortable in the ring and he's now a perfect villain.
yeah. And he's
So,
believable that he can win. Whereas before, you know, like a year or two ago, you'd look at him and you go, oh, "Is this scrawny 23-year-old kid that
mm,
couldn't snap a toothpick?" But he's worked so hard and so well with the Judgment Day and whoever else he's been working with that it's believable that he could pick up a win now. You know, and he's done it not just himself. He's had help, obviously, and I'm sure he'd say that himself. But he's done so well, and I think you're right. I think even Dom in that category with the IC Championship would be awesome.
Yeah. And again, it's if he stays in the Judgment Day, it's a
Yeah,
believable push that
I
again
think
they're going to bring more. They want to bring more gold back to the Judgment Day.
this is a wild call. I think he's going to get pushed out the Judgment Day because of what's happened with Liv. I think what Mummy says goes. I think she'll give him one more chance, and Liv will manage to sway him. I think he'll get booted out, and then Liv will go, I've taken everything from her now. I don't want to know you. And he'll be on his own.
Groveling back to Daddy,
Maybe he goes groveling back to the LWO, asks for peace with Daddy
and then
and Zelina,
and
everybody.
then you build up a proper rivalry, LWO Judgment Day, because obviously Carlito and Ray is still there's still
Yeah.
beef in there somewhere.
But again, that's another thing. Carlito could make a good tag team with Ray.
It'd be a great old school tag team, wouldn't it?
Yeah, don't you think? I mean, I think they could. I could think they could work well together. You've got Finn and Bobblehead Jim, the tag team champions. Don't make them go for the tag team titles. Obviously, your team's already got them, but they could have a few little tag matches just to represent the Judgment Day.
Yeah,
But I would like to see. I would like to see Dom branch out a bit more on his own and see what he would bring to the table on his own without the Judgment Day. It'd be interesting to see what kind of character they would give him, because obviously we always knew that when he turned on Ray, that was it. That was like the biggest heel turn in a long time.
yeah.
And he's played it off so well, you know. And even Ray said in his interview to Chris Van Vliet recently, you know, he's done amazingly well to get where he is and to push himself forward. And yeah, I mean, but like you say, like, so obviously the last thing that Ray held was the North American Championship, which kind of ties into Obafemi. I want Obafemi to come to the main roster. What an absolute unit!
I don't think it'll be long. Same with
I
Trick
don't think
Williams
it'll
as
be long.
well. I think
Yeah, I don't think it'll be long.
Trick might be getting a push, and then that might bring back Carmelo and Trick as they might
I
either
don't know. Will they?
reignite a rivalry or
I think
they'll
they'll reignite a
partner up.
rivalry. I don't think. Well, if they partnered up, it'd be good for the tag division for sure. Be good for the tag division. It would bring another exciting team into the fold. It would, it would ignite that little bit of spark that we're missing. But
Mm.
I don't know. The Mello's just he's the I'm him man. I think he would keep his back turned on Trick.
Because yeah, that like Trick losing his title in a funny fashion, so to say.
Yeah, I mean
Obviously,
he knocked out Ethan Page to get the pin, didn't he?
yeah,
Which is a bit of
and
a
then
bit of a weird way to lose it. But I do like the fact. The one thing that I love that WWE did following that was obviously Trick had a surprise for a partner, and it was Joe Hendry. But I
that
love
was
the fact
brilliant.
that they gave Joe Hendry the pinfall
Yeah,
and let him get the win. So the first time ever that someone from TNA has had the win, and obviously the Rascals with Wes Lee are from TNA as well,
yeah,
because
no, that was
he was about
great.
to quit, wasn't he? He was about to give up. He was like, I don't think I've got this in me anymore.
Oh, it was great though that yeah, Joe say his name
Yeah.
and he will appear, and then he just there on
Mm.
NXT. Trick Williams special part, like surprise
Well,
partner, like that's just
I,
great.
I, I think
Great
we
for
knew he was
business.
coming because obviously when Ethan Page, I don't know if you saw it, but when Ethan Page won the championship at Heatwave, right after the celebration, it flashed up with Joe Henry's face turn on the Titantron, and then that was it.
Oh really? Oh, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, literally just it panned him doing his turn, and then it cut off again really quickly.
Oh, he's another one of those lovable
Yeah.
characters though. He's catchy. He's a catchy character.
Have you seen his music videos? I know I've sent a couple in our WhatsApp chat. But have you seen the music videos, like the one that he did for Scotty Too Hotty and stuff? I ended
Yeah.
up falling down a Joe Hendry rabbit hole, and some of the
Who
music
hasn't?
videos that he's done, oh mate, it's so funny. He's so funny. It's just too good not to watch.
He's the white version of our truth.
Yeah, yeah, he is. Actually, I think. Well, I mean, I think. Yeah, he is definitely hilarious. But I think he, like you say, he can wrestle well too,
Oh
and I
yeah,
think he's put himself in a picture where WWE want him there,
yeah.
and yeah, I think he's done great. But even he said in the interview he's taken advice from the likes of John Cena and other people that he's met along the way, and that really resonated with him. And he was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm going to do it. If I don't listen to these people that have made it happen for them,
Mm.
then how is it ever going to happen for me if I don't do that?"
I mean, you can't get any more better words of advice
Yeah,
than from John Cena himself. So
yeah, exactly
if
that,
he's giving
exactly
you
that.
advice to follow it.
Yeah,
Like look at where
but
he got
I
himself. So
exactly, but yeah, I reckon, like you said, it can't be long. Trick Williams, maybe SmackDown over Femi, maybe to Raw.
I reckon both will go jump to SmackDown first of all
Yeah,
because
maybe.
there'll be free agents anyway,
Yeah,
and SmackDown I think needs again more fresh blood as opposed to
yeah.
Raw. Raw's got enough there to give
Raw is,
us a solid 3 hours,
yeah.
whereas SmackDown those
Are
two
they?
hours.
So that's the question. Are they looking to push SmackDown for a 3 hour show come Netflix? Is that the plan?
Well, they should, in my opinion, because you've got enough. You've got good talent on SmackDown. You haven't got
Yeah,
enough of it. That's something that I think makes sense in what I'm going to say now is if you push it to 3 hours, that talent, the lower pool of talent you've got on SmackDown, that the people that don't actually make TV week in week out, this is their chance to then show if they have or haven't got it,
yeah,
and not just filter them with a match every 4 or 5 weeks. They'll be constantly in action week in week out. There'll be
yeah,
no ring rust there then. Whereas, yeah, like I say, we got Baron Corbin for 1 week, and then we, like I say, we probably won't see him for another
yeah.
four or five
Yeah,
weeks.
where's he going to go now?
And
He's
also the
taken the
thing
loss with Apollo.
with Netflix is you won't get adverts, so you actually will get more on screen wrestling and segments, etc., as opposed to now where 40 minutes of your
But
show is
even
taken up with adverts.
I think even with Raw, that's going to be difficult to push for 3 hours with no adverts.
Might see more segments.
Maybe, possibly, and you definitely get a lot better segments on Raw than you would on SmackDown.
Yeah. Well, if we say 3 hours, it's probably what 2 hours 15, two
Yeah,
hours 20.
I mean, yeah, the amount of adverts is just ridiculous, isn't it? But can you
Yeah,
imagine how much money WWE getting for all the WWE, the TV, TNT, USA, whoever's televising it, how much money they're making off that ad space they sell during
oh,
WWE?
huge.
It's got to be a
Although
huge premium ad space.
I do think that, from what I've heard, a rumor though is Netflix are going to
Go
follow the
adverts.
Amazon side of it and sort of you can have this subscription for cheaper, but obviously there'll be
Yeah,
ads involved. So it's
that's
like
what
a
I've heard as
subscription
well.
tier, which, like I say, Amazon do it, but yeah, don't really notice it with Amazon. It's literally
I
like a
don't
thirty
either. I
second. It's
watched.
literally a 30-second ad or a
Yeah,
45, and it's done. Like,
exactly. I mean, I watch some shows on Amazon or movies, and you only get you only get the advert at the beginning of the movie. Whereas, like during the television, you get what is it, 3 minutes a time, sometimes 4 minutes a
mhm.
time.
Yeah, and obviously you can't skip those, or
Yeah,
they go on for, like you say, God knows how long. Whereas at least
yeah,
with these
exactly.
ones, you know what you're getting for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
So it's like happy days.
yeah, I think so. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting, and this lead up. And you say about storylines for SmackDown. I mean, I get we've got Nia Jax, but this whole storyline between Nia Jax and Bailey, it's boring me. It's
Well, yeah, because
really boring me.
and also Michin's appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, she seems to be getting some kind of push now,
Don't get me
which I
wrong,
like
she's
because she's
impressive.
good. Yeah, she is
Like
good.
she's, but there was no way she was getting the win over Nia.
No, but they're not going to let that happen, are they? Because Nia is just. You look at the way she's in. She's dominated everything recently. She's come back. She's been safer to work with because that was one issue they had before, was she was dangerous to work with.
Mm.
She was hurting too many people. She's embodied this character so well, and she has come back with a big bang. But yeah, they were never going to give it to her. But it is going to be interesting to see what happens with her and Tiffy, because I do see Nia winning. I mean, God knows how. If Nia doesn't win at SummerSlam, then it's because Tiffy's cashed in and she wins.
100%.
I don't see Bailey keeping it past SummerSlam.
No, not at all. And it makes sense to start for Nia to
Yeah,
have this run. Like, I think it's more of a Tiff will again tease the briefcase like she did on Friday over Nia. Obviously, just not down and out, but Nia just completely knackered after
yeah.
going toe to toe with Bailey, and Tiff's like caught in two minds. But I don't think she cashes in till around Royal Rumble, somewhere like that. Nia will get a run as champ, in my opinion.
Does she cash in at Mania? Does Tiffy
There's
get a
just,
WrestleMania moment?
is that too predictable though?
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Because they won't mean anything if they keep dishing out these mania moments to certain
Yeah,
people.
true. Yeah, that is true. She hasn't been there long enough. I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve it, but there's a lot of people that deserve it before she does.
Yeah. So that's why I think Rumble would make there's sense to her
Yeah,
cashing in at Rumble or around Rumble really, because you've still got like Survivor Series.
yeah,
You've got you've got Crown Jewel, which could be another
yeah.
one.
Bad Blood.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to
It's
see if they put women's title on the line at Bad Blood, being the first one back. I
yeah.
mean, they've got to. Well, I say they've got to. They don't always, do they?
Well, this
I
is
mean,
it. I mean, but what happens at SummerSlam with Liv and Rhea? Is that for the championship? Do you reckon, or is it a custody of Dominic match?
well,
Have they got his adoption papers in a
I
briefcase above the ring?
mean, that's a good point because Rhea never lost the championship,
She did
so
never lose it.
but technically she's not entitled to a rematch because she never lost it.
No, but the amount of times that she defended it,
She deserves it,
she deserves it for sure. And she deserves it because she never lost it. But
but
do
then
they
is
do it
Liv going to
immediately?
play, or is Liv going to play the brat and just be going just be saying no? You don't. I'm not giving it to you. Like you've got to earn it. You're not just
Yeah,
having
yeah.
it. Is it going to be that more of a case of that, or
I think
if
that will
you
probably
beat me at
be.
SummerSlam, you get a title shot?
I think that will be judged tonight. I reckon Rhea will call Liv out. She'll say, "I want you at SummerSlam for the championship," or she'll call her out tonight for the championship. She's gonna go, "No, we'll do it on my turn." Adam
Mm.
Pearce is gonna go, "Well, actually, it's for the championship at SummerSlam."
I mean, it makes sense because I think SummerSlam needs more than 5 matches.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. PLE's been so they've been long in the time. They've made it last 3 hours, but
Yeah, but
five
that's the
matches.
promos.
I
You take the
know.
promos out of that.
I get like Triple H said, you don't want to be stuck in these 7 hour long PLEs. I understand
Of
that,
course not.
but 6, maybe 7 matches you could push easy.
Like, yeah, it's a premium event. Like,
Yeah, don't.
it's the big one at the end of the month. You need big matches there. You don't just need
Yeah,
like we never. What was it you used to get? It was about 7 or 8 matches, weren't it?
I think so.
It used to
Yeah,
be,
6 or 7, maybe 8
but
at a push. Yeah,
they were strong, stellar title
yeah.
matches as well. Like the
Well,
titles were
that's it.
always on the line at a or pay per
Yeah,
view as it was back then.
that's what. But that's what it was, wasn't it? You had the tag team titles on the line. You had the IC championship, the US championship, the World Heavyweight, the WWE, the Women's, the Divas, whatever titles were going round at that particular time, for the most part, 80 to 90% of them were on the line.
Yeah, but now you're lucky if you have more than three. You're lucky if you have three titles on the line
Yeah.
because you've only got 5 matches. So
And if you look at Survivor Series, we've already got Cody's on the line because
you've
Cody's
got
going against
world
Solo.
title on the line. You've
You've got
got
world title on
US
the line.
title,
Gunther, yeah. I'm
the
guessing the
women's
IC Championship's
championship.
going to be on the line again.
So
I'm
that's five.
guessing,
To be fair, that could be 5. That's 5 championships, and then if you're going to throw in there Liv and Rhea for the title, that's 6, and we're actually getting what we need
yeah.
out of it.
I think 6 matches would be good, maybe 7 at a push. But yeah, you could definitely
Well,
increase it by 1 or 2.
The 7th match could be Seth versus Drew versus Punk. Triple threat.
But is Punk clear? That would be great. Number 1 contendership between those 3. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Triple threat, Extreme Rules, number 1 contendership.
Because it would work more. It would work more in the storyline of for Drew especially because every time obviously he's been done over, it's been from a sneak attack by Punk. So
Yeah,
having it no disqualification, he can then do whatever the fuck he wants.
exactly. Well, and triple threat straight away does that for him, regardless of the stipulation in the match. Triple threat instantly, no disqualification.
And it's 3 guys that just despise each other,
Yeah,
and it would make for a perfect triple threat because it's not going to be like 2 guys that are going to go at each other and the third guy is just going to have to eat scraps.
yeah.
They're literally all just going to want to pummel the shit out of one another.
Well, that's it, absolutely. And even though Drew doesn't hate Seth, and vice versa, they actually respect each other. Look at Mania when Drew won. You know, for his 5 minutes and 46 seconds that he was champion. Seth said to him, "You deserve it." So he's got his respect. And they both hate Punk. So I mean, for the most part, they're going to gang up together, but they're going to go at it
Egos.
against each other. Yeah, they're going to go, well, right, he's out of the picture. We're going to fight now. We're not just going to go after him. We're going to fight each other because we know that we can, and one of us has to come out as the man.
Yeah,
That'd be a great match,
The match has to end at some point.
Yeah, that'd be a fantastic match if they had that at SummerSlam. But is Punk going to be clear at SummerSlam?
I don't even know what's wrong with him now.
Well, he did his tricep in, didn't he? He pulled his tricep, which is what he did at AEW a few years back, and I think it was the same side.
But he's not wearing anything to say that he's hurt. Like normally, like before,
No,
he had like the arm brace on,
yeah, exactly. And then he
but
took it
now
off and smashed Drew over the head and whatever. Yeah,
he's not declared that. Well, it's not shown that he's got any type of injury because he's
yeah.
coming down without anything on.
I reckon he comes out tonight and declares himself. Oh, actually, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does a video segment and declares himself fit, and it'll be at SummerSlam.
Oh, Drew's out there giving it
Yeah,
obviously anger, and then he just cut away to Punk on the Titantron,
and then
just
Seth, and he
in
tells
the
him,
gym
and
or
then he goes,
something
"Okay,
that he's
you and I at
fit.
Survivor Series," but then Seth will come down and go, "Well, actually, we're going to make it a triple threat." And Adam Pearce straight away is going to go, "Yeah, that's fine by me." I'm all
Be
for
great.
that.
I'm all
Yeah,
for that.
that'd be
100%. I
great.
would
It'd be
love that
great.
match.
That's a match that doesn't need to involve a championship to be on people's radar at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But what happens to the IC Championship? I mean, Braun Breaker's obviously still in the picture, although he lost. Is that going to be a triple threat as well? Do you reckon? Sammy, Dragunov, and Breaker?
Well, I think tonight ends in disqualification because I can see Braun
I
interfering.
think Breaker's going to interfere. Yeah,
And then what that then does is leaves it as obviously Dragunov didn't actually lose. Sammy, being the nice guy that he is, and to Dragunov especially, will
yeah,
obviously offer it to him
on
again.
SummerSlam.
And then like Pierce is just going to probably just chuck Braun in there to
I think
say
Breaker's going to go mad. I
something's
think
got to
Breaker will
end.
go down. I think Breaker will go to Pierce's office and grab him by the collar again.
Or just
Say to him,
smash through the door,
do you
literally
know what
just
though? I don't know if
spear
it's
the
just
door.
me. I don't know if it's just me, but every time I hear Bron Breakker say anything, especially when he's loud, like when Dragunov came down to help Sammy, and he's going, "I'm coming for you," and Breaker's going, I'm scared. Oh, I'm scared."
Oh
He
yeah.
just sounds. He just sounds like Big Papa Pump. All I hear is Scott Steiner. I know they're related. I know it's his uncle, but he just sounds so much like his uncle. It is uncanny.
Yeah, well, you're never going to unsee the relationship there
No,
between them.
not at all. But
So, and then as soon
it's
as
not
he
just
opens
seeing
his
it; it's
mouth,
hearing it. Yeah, it's hearing it as well.
you're instantly just being dragged back to Big Papa. So,
Yeah. All I hear when I hear him open his mouth is, "Where are my freaks at? Holler
oh,
if you hear me."
imagine he comes out with one of these slogans at
Oh,
some
it'd be
point.
great. Well, I mean, you think about it. I mean, it's a bit ironic with him because he said that he wants to break away from
Family
the
ties,
family in the
doesn't he?
sense that he wants to make his own name. But yeah, he uses the Frankensteiner, which was coined by Big Papa Pump. He wears the singlet, which was started with, his dad wore and his brother wore when they were the Steiner brothers back in the early 90s before he became Big Papa Pump and what have you.
Mm,
And he sounds like Scott Steiner to a T. He's got that husky. It's not a high pitched voice, but it's not a deep voice either. And he's got the
nice.
huskiness to it. He's got the raspiness, and he sounds exactly like Big
Yeah.
Papa Pump.
Maybe he's just thought, I'm just going to have to accept it, and this is who I am.
Maybe I just want to see him come down in chainmail next and have the
Still time.
siren at the beginning. I think he has the siren as well, though, doesn't he? At the beginning of his entrance theme, he's got a little bit of a
I think
siren.
there's an element to it, yeah.
Yeah. So again, he hasn't really broken away from it, has he? Not massively.
I just think, like, he's changed it, like, his name doesn't relate to
No,
Steiner, so that's it. That's the main thing. If you keep your name out of it, then it doesn't really matter.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
Like,
of
there's no
wrestlers like,
legacy there, is there?
yeah, I mean, like Curtis Axel, son of Mr. Perfect, one of the very best there ever was. Everyone knew it was his dad's, but he
Hmm.
stayed away from the Henning name. And
You
there are,
because you want to make your own legacy, don't you?
yeah,
So
absolutely,
there's only, like I say, Dom's perfectly fine with keeping Mysterio because everything ties in, and
yeah.
there's he's on the right course to keep the legacy of a
Same as Cody
Mysterio going.
Rhodes,
Like,
and
yeah,
same as Randy Orton, obviously with Bob Orton.
yeah, but yeah, it works for certain people, but yeah, some
Yeah,
people it just
I suppose it depends. I mean, if you look at what's his name, I can't remember what his name is in NXT. The blonde guy, but that's Brian Pillman Jr., isn't it? He's actually Brian Pillman Jr., and obviously Brian Pillman's got his own legacy.
yeah.
So he's stepped away from that name, and then you've got what's the name? We all know she's the Rock's daughter, but I can't remember her actual name. She's the GM of NXT, the youngest GM ever,
Oh yeah.
and you can't get away from her because I mean she looks exactly like the Rock.
Yeah, like I say, just alter your name, your in-ring
Yeah,
name, and go at it because then that way that's your legacy because
yeah,
that's the name people are gonna remember you as.
yeah, absolutely. That's
Like Bron
exactly right.
Breaker. It's not they're not gonna remember you as like Steiner.
I don't know. I mean, I do remember him as Bron Breaker, but every time he opens his mouth, I just think, "Holler if you hear me."
But I
Where
mean
my
like
freaks at?
etched in the books though, it's gonna say
Yeah,
Bron Breaker.
not
So
Bron Steiner or
e-
something else. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, moveset, keep it, name, change it, sorted.
I love the way he does the Frankenstein. He's such a big bloke to jump up onto that top rope and hit that Frankenstein as well as he does. The
Although
same
he
with
did
Big Papa Pump.
botch it one week, didn't he?
He has botched it a couple of times, but again, that stuff's going to happen, isn't it? When
Well,
you
yeah, you're tired at that point in the match as well.
yeah,
The ropes are going to be a bit slippery because obviously you're
yeah,
sweating all over the gaff.
exactly.
So it'll happen, but every time, like you say, he connects with it. It's just beautiful to watch.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
is.
poetry in motion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he does it so well. And there's so many good in-ring performers throughout WWE at the moment. And
Mm.
like you say, 4 or 5 years ago, we probably would have said, "Oh, well, it's in good hands," because you got the likes of, Daniel Bryan was still there, and there was very few names. But now the fact that Roman's 40 now, so he's going to have maybe what 6, 7 good years. Randy Orton's 44. He
Well, it
wants
all
to go well
depends on
into
his
his
health, doesn't
50s.
it, for
It
Roman?
depends on his health as well. Absolutely, it all depends on his health as well. I mean,
That's
it
all
is going
about
to be interesting.
management. That's all
Yeah,
just managing him correctly there.
yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see who after Roman is going to be the face of the company. Because if you look at the people that could be it now without Roman there, they're all just similar age to Roman anyway. The likes of
Yeah.
Drew, Seth, Cody Rhodes, Randy is older. He could still be the face of the company for the next few years, but I don't think they're going to put that on him because they
No.
want somebody that's got a bit more longevity.
Yeah, someone that's gonna be there 4 or 5 years.
And I think Bron Breakker is is a person that they're looking to push that a bit further with. Priest maybe, I mean, but again, he's 41, but he could still, if depending on
Gunther,
health. Gunter,
Gunther's
yeah,
another
maybe.
one.
Yeah, Gunter maybe. It's hard, isn't it?
Yes.
Because at the moment, it's really hard to envision someone being the face of the company that isn't Roman. Because
Hmm.
even though he's not actively there now, he's still very much the face of the company at the moment. I mean, theoretically, he's not. Cody is. Cody's the one that's traveling, doing all the press conferences. But in a lot of fans' mind, we don't want Cody, we want Roman.
Yeah, that wrote like every week his name's being chanted.
Exactly.
Still. So
And it's like Sully said on Wednesday, it's organic. That
mm,
it's not been forced down people's throats. This is an organic face turn.
not like it was literally 4 or 5
Yeah,
years ago with Roman where everything was just being
yeah,
forced towards us to you must like
exactly.
this
It's like
guy.
you must swallow this pill. Yeah,
This guy will be champion and you have got to love him.
yeah,
Like you can't do that. You have to do it
no,
organically, like you say.
yeah, exactly. And I
It
think
has to mean something to the fans that I love
yeah,
this guy for a reason, not I love this guy because Vince McMahon literally force fed me and I can't
yeah,
say nothing else.
exactly that. And I think that's the thing. I think people are loving Roman now because they realise what he did. They realise how good he was, and it is. And Solo is giving us the perfect excuse to love Roman as a babyface and want him back, because now we all hate Solo so much. We want to see Roman get payback and take back the family.
Yeah, they've painted Solo as like I know I say it a lot about people, but he's another perfect villain
Yeah,
because he's literally come in, he's just taken the whole tribal chief on himself.
yeah, yeah,
He's pushed Roman out of his own like faction that he built. He's destroyed the wise man that everyone loves.
yeah. Oh, we all love Heyman.
He's just he's brought along like wild dogs by his side
Yeah,
that can't be controlled. He's just gone. He's doing everything opposite that Roman
yeah.
lived by,
Roman. Yeah,
which
exactly.
has like made everyone hate this bloodline, hate go against like they don't like them, but
No,
it's perfect because when Roman does come back and whoever he brings with him, it's going to be the perfect like love story
I think he
with the
brings
fans in
Jimmy with
him.
him.
Yeah,
I think he brings Jimmy with him.
that's the only one you can see like
It's the only one I
wrestler.
can see, and maybe Zilla.
Paul Heyman will appear with him, I reckon. Though
Oh yeah, Paul Heyman will come back with him. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you can't have. I don't see it anymore. You can't have the wise man without the tribal chief, and you can't
No,
have vice
there's
versa. You can't have the tribal chief without the wise man.
not now that this
No,
happened as well, though, with Heyman getting
absolutely, yeah,
absolutely destroyed, and there's a repercussion coming at some point. Like,
yeah, exactly.
but yeah, again, it's another. It leaves us wanting more because every week we're like, they've hurt Heyman, they're destroying everyone. Like,
Taking out Jimmy, they're taking
Give
out
us
Heyman.
Roman.
Yeah,
Like, we need Roman back. We need Roman back. Like, it's making
and
you
then
want.
obviously look at last week. Yeah, the Kevin wasn't there, so they took out Randy and Cody.
But yet, like the way that visual with tying Cody up in the ropes and then
Yeah,
beating up Randy, just making him watch it. So it's
yeah,
like they're really starting to take hold as a dominant force.
yeah.
With
And that's why it made sense for them to win at Money in the Bank. It's going to be interesting to see because Solo isn't going to win the championship. I don't see it happening.
no,
So it's going to be interesting to see what comes thereafter because obviously Solo's thing since he got rid of Jimmy is that losses have consequences. But yet Solo's got the worst record since losing to John since winning to John Cena out of anybody in the roster. So if he loses to Cody, what's the comeuppance for him?
exactly. But then if he won't, yeah, but he won't lose clean though. That's the thing.
I don't think he'll lose clean, no. I think Randy comes down or somebody comes down and causes a disqualification or something. So he
Yeah,
can, I mean, like you say, he can't lose clean because
no.
then it just, it takes away that aura they're trying to give him in the sense of that losses do have consequences. But the one thing that all
Well,
the fans have said since he said that is he has lost more matches than he's won.
but then and also you look at obviously Roman's reign in the Bloodline.
Yeah,
That Jimmy was sorry, not Jimmy. Jay was the first one to beat him cleanly
yeah.
and pin him. So it's like he went that long undefeated. So Solo again, they have to push
They
and
need
match
to do
that.
that same thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I think, like you say, I think it'll either, yeah, I think it will be some sort of disqualification.
And I hope it's Roman coming down.
I mean, maybe Cody wins. Maybe Solo wins. No, I think Cody wins by disqualification actually, rather than Solo winning by disqualification. I think Cody will win. I think one of the Bloodline will get involved.
Or you say that though that Solo winning by disqualification would make it would make it funny, and it would also add to the story because then Solo's well I got the win, but
I've got a
actually
victory over you. Yeah,
because I know he pinned him at Money in the Bank, which obviously is another statement
yeah,
sending out, but yeah, only being able to like beating Cody by disqualification but not winning the belt, it just adds a little bit more.
yeah. Because then Solo's got more of a vendetta and a point to prove because he thinks now that he can beat Cody, but it wasn't for the championship because he has, like you say, he's got that victory over him.
Yeah. So yeah, SummerSlam's being billed to be quite
Yeah,
a mouth-watering showcase.
and tonight's going to be interesting. Monday Night Raw is going to be interesting because it's going to be interesting to see who comes to ring. Is it going to be Seth? Is it going to be McIntyre? Is it going to be Punk? What's Rhea going to have to say for herself?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
What
that's cut. I think that's pretty cut and dry. That's a case of Liv, get your ass out here now. I'm going to kick your ass.
or Liv and Dom should pull them both to the ring.
Dom won't go out with Liv, not in front of Mummy. They wouldn't go out
Or
together.
or
Could you imagine what statement that would send?
Dom comes down with Mummy and then she calls out Liv.
Yeah, yeah,
Like he's
maybe.
literally back to being a lapdog.
He sits in
He
the corner
can't
by
leave
the
her side.
turnbuckle. You do as you're told, boy.
Literally can't leave her side so
Yeah,
she can keep an eye
it's.
on him.
I think tonight's going to be fun for sure.
Mm,
I think it is
definitely.
going to be fun. The Survivor Series is going to be good. Been an interesting couple of weeks, and yeah, let's see
Look
what's
forward to it.
yeah, absolutely. And then yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. But we'll be back to normal programming next week as of a Wednesday.
Week after.
The week after,
No
sorry, yeah.
episode next week.
No episode next week, people, because JJ is abandoning us yet again.
I am taking a deserved break. You
No, that's
penis.
fine, mate. No, that's fine. You penis dicks. Yeah, so there'll be no podcast next week, but we will be back on the 31st of July, where we will be joined by another special guest, the amazing Franklin from SOS Wrestling. He again is a friend of Sullivan King, so I've had the privilege of meeting Franklin a few times. So it's going to be great to get his insights in the wrestling world and his views as a fan of what's happening with WWE right now as well, and see what what amazing stories he might have to offer.
Yeah. So yeah, drop some sort of questions in the comments if you've got
Yes,
anything to
absolutely.
ask.
I'll drop an
Don't
announcement in the Discord, so if you've got any questions to ask, you can DM me. I know a few of you did before, but yeah, drop your comments on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. If you've got any questions for them, then by all means, don't forget to drop us a like and a subscribe and a follow everywhere. We are on TikTok, not on TikTok just yet. We will be back on TikTok. We're on YouTube,
Insta and
Turnbuckle
YouTube.
Talk 97, Instagram, Turn_Buckle Talk. We're on YouTube. Yeah, drop us a like and drop us a follow. And come along and see me on Twitch every Tuesday and on Thursday. But yeah, people, thank you so much for tuning in, listening. JJ, as always, it's an absolute fucking pleasure.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy
On
doing
to the
this weekly. I'm going to
next.
miss next week. Yeah, and on to the next when we'll be on episode 13 in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah,
But
baby. So yeah,
thank you,
take
everybody,
care,
for
everyone.
tuning in. And we'll see you very soon.
Peace out.